Welcome on into another week here of Wager Talk Extra. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, alongside all of my great guests, letting you know no matter what you're cashing in on, that money is all going to spend the same. We got an all PGA edition for you today for the Wells Fargo Championship. Andy Lang going to be batting leadoff with some players that can trip you up, getting you ready to go with your DFS lineups with his DraftKings Darlings. And then, of course, a head-to-head best bet. He loves coming with you week and week out. And also, we got Nick Borrman coming on, batting cleanup. He's going to be talking about an outright winner that he thinks just might be the one this week. And he's also got a top 10, top 20 finish for you. So all kinds of actionable info coming your way here on Wager Talk Extra. Let's get right into it and welcome in my man, Andy Lang. And Andy, let's not waste any time. It's players that can trip you up, probably some parlay pieces that shouldn't be added in, or some players you just might want to avoid outright. What are you eyeing on this week?
Yeah, we got three guys that I think are
Ooh.
overpriced. Are they going to contend? Maybe, but at these prices, no chance. I'm putting them in DFS lineups or any outright winners. I'll start with Tony Finau. He won last week. Congratulations. But the Mexico Open is this bizarre field where it's him and John Rahm, and then the rest is just a low level, very weak field. So it's basically a two-man tournament. Last year, John Rahm and Finau finished 1-2. This year, they finished 1-2, and Finau walks away with the win. That was Tony Finau's first finish inside the top 10 since January. And what's been happening with Finau is he's only playing in these elevated events, which are the really stacked fields. But he hasn't been amazing at these tournaments where it's just the best of the best. He's the fourth most expensive golfer in DFS. He's the third lowest price favorite to win. He hasn't shown he can return value at this price in stacked fields. It's just completely overinflated because he won last week. So I'm going to pass on Tony Finau, who has not shown that he can compete for wins in these elevated events. So Tony Finau, number one golfer that can trip you up. Golfer number two, Jason Day. Listen, we've made a lot of money on Jason Day this year. I don't know what to make of him after that complete meltdown at the Masters. We had a bet with him over Cameron Smith, and he was plugging right along. And then all of a sudden, a slew of double bogeys. He was hitting the ball out of bounds. It was a disaster. I just have a lot of questions because we have not seen him since that meltdown. I don't know if there was an injury. I don't know if there was something with the yips or something got into his swing. And he's won here before in 2018. I'm going to take a wait and see approach with Jason Day. We see these golfers can be really good one day and then all of a sudden bad the next. It can happen overnight. So I don't know if he's fixed it. I don't know if he's back to his previous form. I'm going to take a wait and see approach on Jason Day to make sure that he's healthy and that his swing is 100%. So no bets involving Jason Day this week. Last one, Max Homa. This is interesting. So I will make two statements about Max Homa. They're completely contradictory, but they're both true. Max Homa has won this tournament 2 out of the last 3 years. That's impressive. But he's also finished 76th or worse in 3 out of 5 years playing here. So he either wins or he finishes 75th or worse. It's very, very strange. Feast or famine with him. I think his form is completely atrocious right now. He played elite golf like he normally does out on the West Coast, but he has been terrible since the Masters. 43rd at the Masters. He missed the cut at the RBC Heritage. And then him and Colin Morikawa inexplicably missed the cut at the Zurich when they played in pairs in a weak field. And I actually had a bet on them, so I watched all of their shots, and Homa was a disaster, spraying the ball all over the place. His putting was terrible. The last 3 weeks, he's minus 1.66 total strokes gained. His numbers in putting are just atrocious, and they got him priced as a top 8 golfer. Not playing like it. No way I'm betting on Max Homa. He is a complete fade despite being the defending champ. Those are my 3 players that I think can trip you up this week.
Finau, Day, and Homa is who you might want to be sticking away from this weekend. And I guess we'll find out. Is Nick Borrman saying any of them are going to be the outright winners? If you're looking ahead, probably not, but you'll have to stay tuned to find out. All right, so we know who to stay away from, Andy. How about where we can maybe find some value and add in our DraftKings Darlings segment, some golfers this weekend that you think might be worth taking a look to do some damage on the links coming up in the event this weekend?
Yeah, we had a great week with our DraftKings Darlings last week. Jimmy Walker, Andrew Novak, and Will Gordon. They all made the cut. Walker and
Mm.
Gordon were in the top 24. So that was awesome. Big time cash on DFS lineups or tournaments with that lineup. So in these elevated fields this year, Dan, listen, I find you have to have some big names in here. You have to have the upside. Even if you have one or two players that miss a cut, if you have these big names that are up near the top of the leaderboard, the way their scoring works, you just have to have guys that finish in the top 10. So I'm going to go a little bit stars and scrubs here a little bit. So I'm going to start with Byung Hoon An, Ben On, 7,100. He just makes the cut. He had a withdrawal at the Arnold Palmer, but besides that, he hasn't missed the cut since November. So at 7,100, we're just hoping to get weekend points out of Ben On. I'll take another Ben. That's Ben Martin. He's the same price at 7,100. He has not missed the cut at a normal tournament since the Farmers Open in January. We had him as a player to fade last week. He wasn't great, but he still made the cut. I'm going to take him to do it again at 7,100, and then we're going to go with Tommy Fleetwood at 8,000. Listen, he has limited upside. He's not going to be competing for the win. He doesn't do that over here on the PGA Tour, but he makes the cut every week, and he's 31st in this week's field in total strokes gained. So at an 8,000 price, I expect to get some pretty solid weekend numbers out of him, and that lets us finish out our lineup with Sahith Thagala, Sung J M, and Patrick Cantlay. So I've got some real upside with Sung J M and Patrick Cantlay, and Sahith Thagala has been playing really good golf, couple top 10 finishes the last couple tournaments for him. So those are DraftKings Darlings, and Ben On, Ben Martin, Tommy Fleetwood. Good way to start your lineup.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, too, if you want a little bit more in-depth DFS advice, Andy always posting weekly his suggestions, and you can get it for free at his page at wt.buzz/AL. And that's not all you're going to find over there. You're going to find all kinds of winners as well. Andy been running hot across multiple different sports. Basically, you could say all the sports. So, Andy, locked and loaded, do you have anything special you're pretty excited about over at your page at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, we got a really big weekend coming up. We've got a big time UFC event. We've got a Formula One race this weekend, which we just crushed on Formula One. And we also had a 3-0 golf weekend. So we're running hot in those sports, golf, Formula One, and UFC. We had a 2-1 week in MMA. So all three of those sports are running great. So I would look at getting a 7-day pass. You can get all these sports. Had a really nice 5% cash on Monday. So last few days is looking really great. We're top of the leaderboard on 3 and 7 days. So look to continue that. And Golf Pack is up now at wagertalk.com.
Yeah, and when we're talking golf, how about the fact that Andy has never had a losing season? So you want long-term success. How about you ride with Andy in golf, you're going to make money year after year after year. Not one losing season here at wagertalk.com. All right, Andy, time for one of those free bets. You know, the folks always love it. That's what keeps them coming back here. So what are we looking at for a best bet in PAGA action this weekend?
Yeah, we cashed our free bet last week. We had Tony Finau to finish in the top 10 at a nice price at minus 145, and that was a great cash as he won. We mentioned Max Homa as a player to fade. I'm going to fade him in a head-to-head matchup with Jordan Spieth. We talked about how bad Max Homa's game has been. Last 3 weeks, Jordan Spieth is actually number one in total strokes gained in this field at plus 3.81. That's a massive number. Homa is 19th worst at minus 1.66. Homa's putting is minus 0.79 in that time frame, minus 0.87 tee to green. He's just in a horrible funk. The last two regular tournaments they played in together was the Masters and the RBC Heritage. Spieth finished 4th and 2nd. Homa finished 43rd and missed cut. Homa just appears to be in a really bad slump right now. Spieth seems to be in the groove. Minus 138 seems like it may be a little bit juicy for a head-to-head matchup. In my opinion, it's a bargain. Take Spieth over Homa.
There we go, and hoping that Jordan Spieth does better than I did pronouncing PGA right there, throwing it your way, Andy. So let's get fingers crossed on that one. That's going to wrap it for our chat with Andy Lang, but don't worry, we have some more on the Wells Fargo Championship coming up right after this here when we talk to Nick Borrman on Wager Talk Extra. Well, we got Andy Lang's full thoughts here for the Wells Fargo Championship, so it's only natural to head on over to sportsmemo.com, check in with our man Nick Borrman. Little tea time edition here, talking all PGA. So we got some players that can trip you up. DraftKings Darlings. We got a best bet from Andy, but we always love these juicy potential outrights from our man Nick Borrman. So, Nick, let's get right into it. Who are we eyeing at that nice plus money price today?
We got the winner this week, Dan. I know we've been close several times, a couple runner-ups, a couple third places, and that's outright betting. You got to give yourself a chance every Sunday, and you need a lot to go your way. But this week, I'm looking at the Norwegian, Victor Hovland. Without John Rahm in the field this week, Hovland actually leads this field in the all-around ranking this season. He also ranks 7th strokes gained off the tee, which is going to be crucial this week. This course is very long. And he ranks 14th in strokes gained approach. Narrow fairways are in store this week, so you're going to expect a lot of guys to be hitting from the rough, and Hovland is more comfortable than anyone. He ranks first on tour in proximity to the hole from the rough. So great driver, but when he misses, he's great out of the rough. Victor hasn't missed a cut, Dan, at a non-major event in the U.S. in 15 months. He's finished outside the top 25 just 3 times in 14 starts this season. He won the limited fields Hero World Challenge in December. There was only 19 guys in that field, so it wasn't an official start. But he's been very close in a couple of recent big events. Tied for 3rd of the Players, tied for 7th at the Masters, along with the tie for 10th at the Arnold Palmer. So that's 3 top 10s in his last 4 designated stroke play events. Hovland finished tied for 3rd here last year, his only start in this event. So he's close to that big first win. I expect him to be in the mix on Sunday, and that's all I'm hoping for in these outrights. But come on, Hovland, cash this one for us, buddy.
I like it, Nick. You started off with "We have the winner this week." So from your mouth to the betting god's ears, let's hope there. Well, the one that we have continued to cash with regularity is who you will usually eye for these top 20, these top 10 picks, and both of them are nice plus money to supplement that potential outright winner. We come out even or above if you hit one of these. So what are we looking at for a top 10, top 20 finish?
Yeah, you're right. These have been very good so far this year. And I'm looking at Ricky Fowler this week. And obviously he's like Jason Day, right? He's having a career resurgent year. He's made 11 straight cuts, Dan, dating back to October, including 8 top 20 finishes out of those 11 starts. He's also shown up big in the designated events. So it's not like he's just playing well in these weak field events. He's finished in the top 20 in 5 of his 6 starts in the designated events. Then there's this history at Quail Hollow. Ricky did miss the cut for the first time last year, but that was that was at his low point in his career. But he did make the cut in all 9 starts prior to that, including winning this event back in 2012. The course has undergone a major renovation since then, so it is a little bit different. But he's finished inside the top 20 in 6 of his 10 starts, including 4 top 10s at this track. He ranks 17th in strokes gained tee to green, 8th in strokes gained approach this season, while ranking 12th in putting average. So strong ball striking and the ability to roll the rock. Plus, he got his comfortability level at this golf course is going to make Ricky a real threat this week. So I'm going to play him on the top 10 and top 20 markets, both at a plus price. So we should be able to catch one of those, if not both, and return a good number on Ricky this week.
No, we're cashing both. As a matter of fact, Nick, let's cash all 3 of them this week. And your clients have been continue rolling with you throughout the golf season. It's been a good season for them and you. You have anything locked and loaded for this weekend's event already?
Of course, yeah. We have the pack up, the golf pack ready to go. It is $19 as usual. It includes all our outrights and leaderboard bets. So that's all 4 days of coverage, and we got 5 outright winners, Dan, this year. This is it. Victor's going to be number 6. Or if it's not Victor, I do have a couple other suggestions in my pack this week that you can get over at SportsMemo.
I love it, Nick. Always a pleasure talking a little golf with you. Check him out over there at sportsmemo.com. And that does it for our golf edition here of Wager Talk Extra. You're all ready to go for the Wells Fargo Championship. Hop below in the comments and let us know who you're going to be sprinkling on this weekend. That does it for another edition here. I've been your host, Dan Alexander. Big thanks to Andy Lang. Big thanks to Nick Borrman as well. And the production team doing a terrific job behind the scenes. We'll be back locked and loaded on Wednesday's edition, talking a little Canelo Ryder, a little XFL as well. Don't miss that. The way to ensure you don't hit that little subscribe button, and we'll see you tomorrow on Wager Talk Extra.